Listen, you guys, trust female rap girlies to go back to Nicki Minaj when they realize that the industry is not all they thought it was. And we're also going to be talking about this entire Billboard, Taylor Swift and Beyonce fiasco, as well as Joe Budden as manager, letting us know exactly what is happening behind the scenes as it pertains to Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and UMG. Now, Chloe Bailey's out there declaring her love for Kendrick Lamar, and like these are some of the things that we are going to be talking about in this video. Hello tea lovers and welcome to the tea blog. I trust you guys are doing well and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing, and without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So first of all, let us talk about Billboard and this entire mess that went down. I think it was a day ago. So you guys know that they have been doing a countdown of their Billboard, top pop stars of, the 21st century. And when they announced Rihanna before Beyonce already, that was a conversation where people thought like, well, Rihanna was deserving of having like the second or the first spot, with people wanting Beyonce to be placed, on the third spot, given the charts placements and stuff like that when it pertains to her music. People have been comparing the music from Taylor Swift, the achievements, and Beyonce and Rihanna, and in major categories, except the touring side, I think Rihanna was ahead of Beyonce, and Taylor Swift was ahead of Beyonce overall in all, in all categories, from touring, most number ones, highest selling, and stuff like that. And so Taylor Swift fans, as it was, were not pleased when it was then announced that Taylor is at number 2 with Beyonce sitting at number 1. Everybody on Twitter, like majority of the people that I saw on Twitter, were echoing sentiments that, well, this seems like it was bought. Okay, people were like, this is not, objective at all, and stuff like that. And the grievances did not end there. Now, you guys know that when they announced, Nicki Minaj, Ariana Grande, they've been playing on those women's top. Like they would bring in controversies when talking about their history in music and stuff like that. And when it happened to Nicki Minaj, the Barbz also felt some type of way. They tried to raise the issue to say, why are you including a husband and whatever case that he has in the past in this? Like, why are you including all of that? It was very shady. The articles that Billboard was actually writing, it was not giving a professional major publication. It was giving, bloggy, messy type of situation. It's not something that you would expect from a major publication like that. So the Barbz did express disappointment in that, but as usual, people basically said, oh my god, suck it up, this and that, that's a history. And and people are like, oh, okay. When it happened to Rihanna, they also did bring out Rihanna's issues and stuff like that. And when it came to Ariana Grande, they did the same thing. However, when it came to Beyonce, it was all praises and stuff like that. And people are like, okay, why are you not including the scandal of the Diddler, given that they have a very strong relationship? If it's your nature to be messy, then why are you being messy to certain celebrities and you're not being messy to other celebrities? Like, what is happening? Okay. And so people were calling bias on that. And one thing about the Swifties is they don't play. Okay. They even went as far as going to the editor of that article, and they were coming for her on her Instagram, to the point that she had to delete her Twitter page and she also had to delete her Instagram. And then that's when they decided to apologize, because for Taylor Swift, they had used a very demeaning picture of her unclad. Like, what are you talking about? And so they did go ahead and apologize. Before I read the apology, I'm just thinking, so it had to take Taylor Swift for them to apologize for doing these artists wrong. But if it was anybody else, like, they don't care. Okay, the fact that it had to be Taylor Swift that they apologized, to for the messiness is insane to me. But this is what the apology read, you guys. They said, we are deeply sorry to Taylor Swift and all of our readers and viewers that in a video celebrating Swift's achievements, we included a clip that falsely depicted her. We have removed the clip from our video and sincerely regret the harm we caused with this kind of error. Like, What do you mean? Like you were doing this purposefully, and now the allegations that well, there is some payola that happens behind the scenes for our queen bee. At this point, I'm just like it's because everybody else is getting the short end of the stick, but only she gets the like. It's not looking good, and I do feel like the more they're doing these propaganda issues, the more people are beginning to say, after all, it seems like, well, the respect and natural, adoration that I've had for this person has been propaganda, and I do believe they are ruining her brand. Okay, I think they're doing extra, especially when it comes to articles like this. There's no need for them to be messy, because in as much as she might not have done numbers like the other artists, she does put in the work. She does have influence. She does take her work seriously. She's a very great performer, and without the antics, she would still have been able to justify why she qualifies to be there. So the extra propaganda and the extra spiciness is what's making people slowly lose respect for her, because now they are very blatant. They are very in their doings. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. And one person wrote this write up that I was like, oh my god, that is so insightful. This person said, and I guess that's a Taylor Swift fan page, responding to the apology. They said it isn't an error, by the way. An error could be including a wrong pick or adding a wrong number or those basic things. But you guys added a revenge P to the video talking about her achievements, which is unnecessary. Plus, you did it with other artists like Ariana Grande, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna. You don't have to bring up women's traumas every chance you get. Also, if you guys dislike female artists and dislike to see them succeed, just don't talk about them. It's not that easy. Okay, I guess they wanted to say it's that easy. So I agree with them. This is giving messy, and whoever is doing the PR, they used to be able to do it very well when it comes to Beyonce and stuff like that, because it was not so clear. Okay, it made people feel like she doesn't respond, and when somebody comes in like that, people tend to respect them more. People tend to have this narrative that they are on board, that they are this. But lately, I don't know if it's fraudulent or whoever is responsible for this is beginning to look ridiculous, and slowly I'm seeing people lose respect for Beyonce, and I'm just like, it's so sad, because that's somebody who has put in hard work to be where she is, and the extra gimmicks and propaganda are not cutting it anymore. But anyway, let me know in the comment section, you guys, do you think that she deserved to be on the first spot? And also tell me if you do think that it should have Taylor number 1, Rihanna number 2, and Beyonce number 3. Okay. Now, personally, I do understand that when it comes to influence, she has influence, you guys. She really has impact. The sales are not really selling like that, like the other two girls, but it's a tight one. It's a very tight competition when it comes to that. But I don't think that it's entirely absurd for her to be on the first place, in my own opinion. But air your opinions, you guys, in the comment section, and let me know what you think about that. Now, the next thing that we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Coi Leray. Now, the last time that we spoke about Coi, we were talking about how she seemingly has been dropped from her label, Republic. And yesterday, she decided to post and thank Nicki Minaj for her newest certification of the song Blick Blick. It did manage to go gold. It is now certified gold. And so she posted Blick Blick, the cover, the song cover with her, Nicki Minaj. And this is what she said. She said, shout out to Nicki for this dope behind collaboration and all the Barbz for your support. Okay. And this is very much, the energy is very much,
and then
it's calm, okay, from the energy that she previously had. She became an ingrate when she got that collaboration from Nicki Minaj, and she was basically acting a fool, in my own opinion, okay? Being ungrateful, taking the help for granted, shading Nicki Minaj unnecessarily. And I do believe that with time, these female rappers always learn, okay? When Nicki says to them, these people that are coaching you to go against me have got, are not trying to do anything to benefit you, and it's not going to benefit Effie too, this is exactly what ends up happening. Now that she has immersed herself in the music industry, she now knows how dirty it is. After getting dropped just like that, she now knows how the music industry is after dealing with record labels and stuff like that. And it's so sad that it always takes them being really down at the bottom for them to begin to accept and, you know, realize that Nicki all this while was giving me sound advice. But that being said, it's never too late to realize your mistakes and to learn from them. So it's a good thing that Coi seemingly has learned to be grateful, has learned to not throw shade at legends, has learned that there are no friends in this game. It's not too late. Let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about Coi Leray and her seemingly warming up, her energy warming up to Nicki Minaj. Now the next thing that we are going to be talking about, Chloe
Did you
Bailey.
guys get your pink print?
Now, you know that people all of a sudden have been eating up the industry propaganda, and all of a sudden we're seeing people we have never seen praising Kendrick now coming out to praise Kendrick and basically jump on the bandwagon. So Chloe decided that, well, she would let us know that, well, when she was younger, she thought that she was going to end up with Kendrick, I guess, being in a relationship with him or getting married to him. And so people came for her and they were like, listen, you're being disrespectful because ever since the man came into the scene, he had his partner. What are you talking about? And it was a lot of conversation around that. She basically received a lot of criticism about the video that she made. And some people were like, oh my God, you are trying to bait Kendrick and stuff like that. And she then realized to come back and apologize and also clarify that, well, that was not her intention. She was just trying to praise Kendrick Lamar's album. Now, let me insert what she had to say, and you guys let me know if you do feel like that was a little bit disrespectful.
And I was convinced I was going Kendrick Lamar phase. And I was convinced I was going to be with him. Who has listened to Kendrick's album? I have had it on repeat for the past 4 or 5 days since it's been out. Let's discuss favorite songs. And listen, I did not just hop on the Kendrick train now. I don't know if you all know this. Ask Callie, ask Branson. About 8 years ago, I had a whole Kendrick phase. Like, I've had phases, right? Like, I had a James Fauntleroy phase. I had a Frank Ocean phase. I had a Twigs phase. I had a Tune Yards phase. I had a Kendrick Lamar phase. And I was convinced I was going to be with him. And I loved him when I was younger so much, from Section 80, even the mixtape before that had Alien Girl on it. Like, I've been a diehard Kendrick fan from day one. So I haven't just hopped on the bandwagon now. But I'm happy a lot of people are hopping on the bandwagon. But I've been a hardcore Kendrick fan, K-Dot, when he was K-Dots. Okay, let's talk about it. I love Man in the Garden. What else? I love Luther. I love Reincarnated. I love TV Off, of course. I had a Kendrick Lamar phase. Not shooting my shot at a married man. I was talking about years and years ago. I was just sharing how I was a diehard Kendrick fan, like from day one. Everybody just doesn't like happiness. Everybody has to take everything so seriously. I would never. Honestly, I don't let stuff like that get to me anymore because I think it's funny. I think it's funny now how people will like take things out of context. Hey, I'm innocent, child. I am innocent. Am I cooking today? No, but I will be eating today. If you guys won't stop asking me about the Kendrick stuff, I was sharing my love for the album. And I was sharing my mindset at 17 years old. Just like how I shared my love for Omarion from B2K. Like, come on, give me a break, guys. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. Love you. I can't end it.
Well, there you had what Chloe had to say, you guys. Personally, I didn't think that she was being disrespectful. I do feel like, well, she was just being honest about, how she felt like. I mean, if you're a teenager, you get crushes on celebrities all the time. But I don't know now as an adult if that was proper for her to let her. The context of it all does not seem, that disrespectful, but the timing, the age that she now has, okay. Anyway, let us move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Before I do so, I just want to say I hope you guys had a great time with your families. I hope you guys were enjoying your Thanksgiving. Let me know, how was it like? Was there drama? There's always family drama during this time of the year, or was it absolutely drama free, and did you enjoy the day? Okay, now the last thing that we're going to be talking about, there is a conversation that happened, and Joe Budden's manager and Joe Budden himself and a couple of other people were discussing about what's happening with Drake, the industry, and the part that Kendrick is being made to play. And it was quite insightful, with majority of the people of the panel, like they were not disputing the fact that, well, there's definitely industry politics at play when it comes to Drake. And some of them were even acknowledging that, well, that's how the industry has always been, and he's not the first artist to face the same the same plight when it comes to the industry. They also cited Michael Jackson, and it's funny how none of them even cited Nicki Minaj, but we do know that, well, she suffered from the same plight. But what's interesting is, in as much as the Joe Buddens are saying, well, this is what the industry does, they are not actively saying that Drake has done the right thing to sue the industry for what they're trying to do. Okay, all of them, it seems like they've decided to accept that that's what the industry is like. It's like, well, they've normalized the industry moving in that way. So they're pretty much still, from the sentiments, you can tell that they're echoing fear that, well, once he takes them to court, that's going to be his downfall and stuff like that. Now, it's very sad that this is how dark the music industry is. And some people are like, well, we're not feeling sorry for him because, well, he did benefit from the machine at some point in time, and now he's crying foul because it's happening to him. But another person also raised the point that, listen, so up to when are we going to say, okay, this is just how the industry is like, and we're like, well, we're not going to fight the industry because that's how it is like? Is it not time for us to stand up and say, we will not be fed propaganda, like the propaganda that they're spreading right now with Not Like Us and Drake and stuff like that? People are saying, is it not time to stand up and say, enough of this, okay? Enough of you treating artists as if they're disposable and stuff like that. But let me know in the comment section what you think about that. It's very difficult to try and lobby people behind Drake, especially given that he has also seen other artists getting thrown under the bus and he hasn't actively done anything. So people are like, we're not going to rally behind you, because who did you rally behind also? Okay, and if I'm in Kendrick's position, I'm like, okay, I mean, for the longest of time, you benefited from the propaganda, from the payola, from all of these things. Now it's my turn. That is the reality of it, you guys. That's the reality of it, okay? Because we all know that right now the music industry is not even about talent anymore. It's about who they can push more, who can bring them more income, who can be more popular. So, I mean, if he has been putting in work as Kendrick Lamar, he has been a better rapper, in my own opinion, as compared to Drake. But his popularity and his success has not been that comparable when it comes to, like, in comparison with Drake. So why would I now not want to benefit from the same industry machine that made you benefit? It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my time to shine, and I'm gonna shine. Until another one comes in, until Tyler, the creator, decides to strike a deal with the music industry, and then he then also gets to benefit from that machine, and he comes for Kendrick. Like, it's a cycle. It seems like that's how the cycle is like. And When it comes to the cycle of female rap, Nicki has been a headache in the music industry. Nicki has been a headache in that genre because they did all they could, but she still remained at the top. And I could see why that could be frustrating because, I mean, what are we going to do with you? We blackball you. We make sure you don't get played, on radio stations. And in your coming with your tour and it's breaking records and it's doing all of these things. I mean, we are even taking 100,000 sales from your album, but you're still the highest selling. Like, what are we going to do with you? You are frustrating us. And that is why lately on the internet, you are seeing a lot of pages that appear to be Barb pages criticizing every little thing that Nicki Minaj does. I did see a couple of Barbz gagging over Doja Cat's celebration pictures for Hot Pink. She did a little photo shoot, with a backdrop, with a pink backdrop and some afro. And oh my God, the fake Barbz there, the bot Barbz there, they're out there gagging over that, basically saying, well, Nicki is lazy for not doing something like this. And I'm like, how ungrateful would you have to be ungrateful that this woman put out an album, went on a tour, not just with one leg, had two legs of the same tour, all over the world, all whilst being a mother, okay? A lot of footage, the tour was high quality, but you're over here trying to say that she's lazy because she didn't do a photo shoot for the pink print with a pink background and some afro. Are you serious right now? Whilst I'm not trying to discredit Doja Cat's nice pictures that she took, but to compare somebody taking pictures and somebody who actually went out there and did a tour, like, it's a lot of botted accounts that I'm seeing, and it's sad to watch. Like, now they've run out of things to do. They're now trying to make it seem like the Barbz are not grateful, the Barbz are not supporting Nicki Minaj, so that when they deflate her figures, people will say, well, her fans are tired of her. And the more people engage with that type of content, the more it gets viral. Like, there's one specific one that just came from Norway that I saw, and I was like, you guys, why are you even interacting with? These are the accounts that you unfollow, mute, and ignore. Because clearly they are trying to rage bait so that, there's more engagement and this narrative reaches a wider audience. It's sickening what the music industry is doing right now. So that being said, you guys, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. And until my next one, see you.
Companies like Spotify, A, were not only not public companies, B, they were not in business with the labels. They were trying to get in business with the labels so that they can get more of the catalog on their services.
So Ian, I think that's a point that we all are on the same page about. No one is arguing that he had a grassroots level build to his career. No one is saying that. What we're saying, at some point from that point in time to today, he has reap the benefits of having relationships at UMG and allowing those relationships to push his career. That's all people are saying.
Ian
and that's
is trying to add very important nuance to that.
But I don't care. But that's not.
Let him do that.
Well, I also can speak, and I wanted to interject what we're saying. So if he wants to add additional detail, that's okay. But you can't refute what we're saying by answering a point that's not being asked. So what we're talking about is, at a certain point in his career, he has had the benefits.
Ian, if you could please continue adding the nuance that you were adding, because I think it's very relevant to the points that are being made.
Well, again, I was asking a specific question. So again, Ian, do you believe that at any point in his career, he has had the support of the industry or a machine or whatever you want to consider it? You don't think at any point?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the industry needed him more than he needed the industry.
Well, let's be
this version of the industry did not exist when Drake got started. Drake was the catalyst to start this version of the industry. They waited until he had to step on his leverage. This is why they're doing this for Kendrick Lamar right now. This is why the lawsuit is happening. So y'all are arguing that, okay, you benefited from this.
She's right.
Well, he didn't benefit from it because he created it. They created it on Drake's back. That is the point Ian's trying to make right now.
Okay,
Okay, hold
and
on. Wait,
again,
hold
so
on. Let me say
okay,
something.
I want to say
Ian
something,
is
but do
leaning
we
real
think
quick, real
that
quick.
Drake
Ian is
y'all
leaning
crazy
on
as shit?
real quick. Ian is leaning on Spotify, and he has a good point of when Spotify went public.
Correct.
But Spotify is not the only thing named in this petition
Thank
as far
you.
as tactics to blow up this music. There are other tactics names, shit with influencers, changing the procedures
Payola.
there's different steps and standards of practice that are explained in this petition. And I'm saying Drake is able to outline those standards because they've been doing that shit for him.
You're
That's how he
you're you're
knows what the
only
fuck.
saying that because Joe said that, and I'm sorry.
First of
What?
all, I didn't hear Joe say that, Ian, and I do love how you always go back to Big and Joe up. And because I love Joe, I'm going to appreciate it, but I'm just going to let it roll off my back. I'm saying that because it's my opinion. So I agree with Joe, I guess. But
And I
Drake
respect your
benefited from that
opinion,
shit.
just so you know, Al.
Thank you, Ian. But Drake benefited from that.
I agree with what Elle said. I agree with what Ian is saying. Um, that's all I got.
I just
I agree with both of
But I
y'all.
do agree
I
that
do.
now Drake is. I think that now, okay. I think the industry needs Drake, but I think the industry made Drake because they knew they were going to need him.
And
Like, I don't know if I'm
thank
I
wording
you.
have
it the right
another
way.
point here that I think could be
Go ahead,
helpful
Ian.
contextually. I think Drake is looking at his career as an arc, and I think he's looking at all the businesses that he's helped make public Goliaths. And
Facts.
and he's saying, I've had enough. Not only did I bring trillions into Universal Music Group, I helped Universal merge and create an alternative additional revenue
I
stream
helped
with
out
Spotify.
tremendously.
I
Yeah, that's the
This is
house that Drake
Drake's
built.
house.
Yeah, at
Literally.
this
He
point.
helped, and he's also funding whatever other hit artists that are under that label that Lucian.
That's the part where I get a little tricky. I muted the stage. That's just the music business.
Right.
If artist A is keeping the lights on, then yes, artist C, we're running his project with the money we made from artist A. That's been the lay of the land. I don't. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry, I didn't unmute it. Yeah, that's been
I
the lay
get
of the
that. But
land.
what I'm saying is there's a certain point when you don't have to accept terms the way they're presented to you when you are that X factor. And I think he's reached that point where he's like, look, if you quietly
That's
can't
naive.
address what?
Ian,
Wait, go
please
ahead. Finish,
finish.
Ian.
Do not
Finish,
stop.
Ian. Ian,
No,
please finish.
finish the point because this is progressing.
Yeah, go ahead, Ian.
Mhm.
I think he's reached a point where he sees the kind of intrinsic and halo effect value that he's having on the entire industry as a
Facts.
whole. And he's like, enough is enough. I'm no longer asking you, Lucian and Universal, for some $500 million piggy bank. I want a piece of the house
When I
forever.
fucking made y'all $28 billion.
Right. Give me a piece of the house so that if I never make another record again, you are going to address the catalog and my impact in the industry. Everything I've done musically, halo effect on the alternative businesses, the new verticals I've helped create, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And until that happens, I'm going to make a fucking stink.
And what they did in response, and this is why you get a lawsuit, instead of working with him on that request, they decided to use all these tricks to promote a song calling him a pedophile, to malign his character, and undercut his leverage in that argument.
But
This is why it's a lawsuit.
but
That's
can
So
I
that's
ask
the
a
wicked.
difference
question?
that y'all
But
are
can I
not
ask a
addressing.
question to can I ask a question to Ian? So Ian, you believe that this playbook just was created with Drake? You don't think they've done the same to all of the greats that have made a fuss?
This has
So that's
never
no, no,
happened
no, no,
in
no, no.
history,
Listen, but
ever.
again,
This
Ian,
happened to Michael Jackson.
I've let you land several times. But can somebody else land so you can then answer after the point's made?
I just put my seatbelt on. Go ahead, Lamb.
Okay. So what I'm saying.
You are so funny. Go ahead.
So
I liked it. I liked it.
what I'm saying is, do we believe that the moment that you ruffle feathers at the top, that Drake is the first person to experience that industry then collapsing on him? It's happened to
No.
Michael Jackson. What are we
Prince.
talking about? These are the
Sam
things that have
Cooke.
happened to the greats that have spoken out against the machine, quote unquote. I know you guys hate that word, but the machine that they once partnered with. This is nothing new. And I think to your point, if Drake is now saying, okay, this is happening to me, and now I want to flip the industry on its head, I think it is okay for people that are watching and speculating to say, but you're kind of doing it once you've already reaped the full benefit and kind of drain the system of all of what you could have gotten. Because my thing is, why wait until a certified pedophile for you to say, okay, it's time for me to be independent after you've just signed this crazy deal and you were
Mhm.
completely fine with the benefits until they made you look
But he
crazy.
didn't know.
He
I
wasn't
understand.
He
Okay.
aware.
didn't know until
Okay.
that. He didn't know. He thought that Lucian's my man, the company's
Mhm.
behind me, Kendrick. But he didn't know it was like this.
Yep.
And
Well,
And
I got a separate I
to
got a
further
separate
counter
question.
that point, does that mean just because he previously benefited, if we're acknowledging this has happened to artists in the past, shouldn't now with the information we have make a better decision than audiences have in the past to
yes,
side with the artist, to back the artist?
yes,
Because we've seen how this fight goes. They call him a pedophile. They do all this stuff to malign his character, ruin his reputation, ruin his income earning potential, all this other stuff. This is the time for us as the audience to get smarter than we have been in the past.
yes.
I don't
Yes,
know
he
if
Well,
we're
no,
did
no,
So
covering
no,
wait,
some
wait,
no,
wait,
past
wait,
no,
wait,
stuff
wait,
that
no,
wait,
we
wait,
no,
wait,
didn't
no.
wait,
necessarily
Rick.
know that was
Wait,
in the
let me
future.
reply to Rick really quickly. Rick, I agree with everything you just said. I want to add, you don't think that would have applied to Drake as well? I said this on the pod. If he knew the
Yes, it
fight
would
that he
have.
was really up against, it ain't time for everybody's baby mama.
Facts.
Absolutely.
And
It
give it
ain't
to him
time to do
exactly
all
I
of this
where
agree,
other.
it's
but
at
You
It's
it's not
not.
already.
fighting
just
the
this.
It's
It's
biggest
not.
not
Goliath
emotion. It's
in